You know, when you have been out into something very hard in your life, like being targeted in a way where you can say it was very hard physically and mentally, so it almost pulled teeth out. We also have a saying in Denmark where we say, I am on the master's mark, Herrens mark, it's called in Denmark, and it can be translated to something like the master's field. You are really so far out, so you don't know what to do. I found some books with that title, On the Master's Mark. It looks like a refugee family, and here it could also symbolize, it looks to me like a boy who is lost. And when you are targeted so hard, I got the feeling that they want me to leave the country. They really want me to force myself out to be a refugee and leave the country. I felt I was hunted so deeply, so I really didn't feel I could stay here, or they didn't want me here. This line, it says, women on the master's field, kvinder på Herrens mark. There they have a nice picture with a necklace with a cross, a person. It could symbolize a woman who is crucified, and of course it is hanging where the heart of feelings are, and it's the family side of the body we see here most. So it could be when you really are out in deep problems that has some connection to the family. And mark, in Denmark, a field is also called a mark, where you grow the corn. Here I found a picture, one of the end scenes from the picture Killing Fields, The Killing Fields. And I noticed immediately when I saw the movie that this guy had very, very bad teeth. And this Killing Fields also made me think of the shooting there were in the Danish shopping center Fields, where a person was shooting. That there could be some kind of conspiracy story in that accident. But the Queen's New Year speak, here we have this, is it called the seal? The seal of Queen Margaret. It's the M for Margaret, and then it says 2R. And of course she's the number 2 queen that has been named Margaret. And the R is standing for her last name, that as far as I have understood starts with an R. But I can also see the second symbolism in it, that it could mean 2R. And if you have 2 R's after each other, the way I have understood or find a coding for each letter in the alphabet, I think the letter R means to mirror something. So if there are 2 R's, you mirror one time and one more time. But Queen Margaret is named Rex. for some kind of last name. And the name Rex, the Romans used it for a king. Later it has also been used for one masters, one leaders. Mentioned 7 kings. Ooh, there we have the 7 again, and the 7 chakra could hint to king, but all back to the Romans. It was later from among the 300 before Christ. It was hated in the Roman autocratic as an impression for a man with too much power. Okay, so we are down to the time among Christ. And there on the Romans, and there was it also with the stalking woman article. I somehow came all the way back to among the time of Christ. So, what do we have here? I mentioned the Harald Blåtand the other day, which has been a king also in Denmark, and I think the royal line has been going on ever since. So actually Harald Blåtand is a forefather of Queen Margaret. But here I found something here, says something about children, and they are mentioned a Nordic name, Ring, King Ring. In Latin, Annulu. So there we have the ring. In the Danish royal bloodline story. And I have heard something about that the movie Lord of the Rings actually was written out of what was going on in Denmark, or the Danish kingdom. So it could very much look like it. Could it really be that they have hidden the rulership over the ring in one of the smallest royal countries, simply to trick the world into not get that thought? But Rex is also in the Toy Story. That some mean that the Toy Story actually is filled with symbolism for child trafficking. But there, this dinosaur, it is called Rex. And the dinosaur, of course, have those crocodile teeth. And we know that's kind of teeth. Sadly to hear that it seems to many young people are doing that simply to get some false teeth that look even better than those they have before they end up to damage their own teeth. That is so sad. Very, very sad. What you can trick people into do of evil towards themselves. But Rex, I also found something named Cornish Rex, which is a cat race. And I have heard some other channels talk a lot about that there will be something with cats, maybe a cat disease in the coming future. But I don't know. but it was named. It was a cat race that its original comes from Cornwall in England. And as far as I remember, Cornwall is a place in England where there have been a lot of corn circles, UFO circles in the fields. And that makes me think of where the Queen Margaret is living. It's this place that is shaped at 8 edges, I think. 8 corner. And it's called Amalienborg. Amalienborg. It has alien in the name. At the other side of the water, I think that's what is called the Black Diamond. Some kind of music house. I think it's that one that's laying there. But then we come into something with aliens. And this year, at the New Year's speak, Queen Margaret had made her 51 speak to the people. So that makes me think of the alien who actually also have flies' eye. And these aliens actually look like a tooth fairy. I saw the other day in a little scary tooth fairy movie. Maybe I can find that later in another video. But aliens have been connected to what is called Area 51. And another place in the world, there are something with 51 now. And it's in Dubai. And I think it's because it's 51 years ago that they started to build up this city. And it's 51 years ago. So there we are into the country of the Fassa Prince again. And actually his name is Hamdan. So it ends on Dan also. And Ham in Denmark means him. In English, I don't know if it's spelled this way, but in English it means some kind of a part of a pig. But in Danish, his Dan. And then Hamdan, it means the one who helped. But there are also a little funny thing with the Arabic language. I have heard when they write poem, when they write he, they mean she, and when they write she, they mean he. So they turn it upside down. And I think we should continue with the next video here because time has almost gone.